Why did we go ahead and build our own MCP client? We had a MCP pentest for one of our customers, pretty large fintech in India, and we wanted to capture the HTTP traffic for the MCP server and the STDIO traffic so that we could do a proper standard security assessment. Like if you've been testing web apps or anything else out there, you obviously understand the importance to be able to capture the HTTP traffic that the application, in which case your browser, makes to the backend APIs, right? So Burp capture was not working for us. The MCP that the customer had created was deployed locally via NPX. And looking at the Node.js source, which is available locally for us, we realized that it used fetch functions, which if you've done any amount of Node programming, you know is notorious for not respecting the HTTP proxy variables. We Googled around and we figured that npm config set proxy works in some cases, but in our case it didn't. And in any case, STDIO traffic is not going to be visible between the MCP client and the local MCP server. So we had to come up with a solution. The MCP environment that we were given for pentesting in the most basic block diagram looked like this. For the most part, all the red arrows are the places where, as an attacker, you would want to intercept and poke around, right? As security testing goes, you want to be able to intercept traffic in these areas and do your security testing there in the dynamic security testing bits. The one with AI middleware and the server-side A processor is obviously not accessible to us because that's on the remote backend on the server, but everything else should be fair game for us. So we started by looking at the MCP client itself. We had access to it via cursor Claude. We had multiple clients that would work with it. This interacting with the local STDIO server, which is running using NPX, the JSON RPC communication between this was over STDIO. So this needed to be captured. Beyond this, the traffic, the MCP local client was already sending to the Node.js MCP server, which then would make requests over the internet using HTTP API calls. Right? So all of these three bits had to be captured for us. So we created the MCP client. Right? This allowed us to capture the traffic between those two endpoints, the STDIO traffic, as well as the HTTP traffic in the backend.